Season 11 is upon us, and I don't think I've had as little confidence heading into a season probably since Season 1. Like, I really don't know how this team will perform. Obviously, we are very, very top-heavy with this top six. I love our top six. Even the third line is pretty damn good with guys who could still turn into solid players, although I think Sloan and Backlund are probably locked in with that top 9 role potential. But Melvin Doyle, who knows what he becomes. The big question is Mihalik, Korolev, and McMillan on that fourth line. They did not have the most impressive preseason, as you can see. So that is certainly the big question. Obviously, it will be very easy for us to improve that part of our team if need be. And defensively, Yasina is just a fucking beast, man. Unbelievable. 96 overall. Plant and Forsstrom are locked in. They need to be top 4 guys. These guys have an incredible amount of potential and are looking to have a breakout season. So that means Chychrun has to be our number 1 guy. Do we really want to acquire somebody and slide Chychrun down to the 4 spot or to the second pairing and Forsstrom down to the 3rd to avoid having Derek Corey? Not necessarily, but then again, as you can see, Corey and Rudolph Benda did not have the greatest of preseasons either. So I really do not know what to expect from this team. We, of course, have the assets to improve this team if need be, but certainly more questions than answers heading in to this next season. I was going to show you guys as well. We actually did alter the captains for the season. Austin Matthews, I've handed him the C. Drouin and Chychrun are the alternates, solely based off of tenure. I mean, that was the plan when we first started this series, was for Chychrun, or not for Chychrun, well, for Chychrun and Matthews to be the guys, the main guys on this team. And in a way, they still are, or they're at least a part of it. But let's get into this season. We sim our first 2 games against the Sharks. We lose 5-4, not a good sign. And against the Calgary Flames, that's a 7-3 win. So interesting, very interesting start. That's a lot of goals. Yeah, New Jersey, New York. I will not be taking that offer. I do have the trading block set up just in case I get an offer for someone with 1 year left on their deal, whether on offense or on defense. Esa Hall not happy with me taking the captaincy off him, which hopefully that doesn't lead to any issues. But Torsten Nyquist will take the goal here for this game against the Anaheim Ducks. Of course, Mihalik is our starter, 86 overall. I'm excited to see what he can do this season, but obviously through his first 2 games of the season, not very good. So we need to definitely need to see improvement there. But I mean, come on, we're 2 games into it. What do we expect? But let's sim this game here against the Ducks. Can we get the win? And we do. It's a 5-4 win. A lot of high-scoring games to start this season, and we will see if that continues as we finish up the month of October, the opening month, and we go to this game on November 7th against the Detroit Red Wings. 8-3-1 so far in this new season. Some very high-scoring games in that first month. We had one hell of a winning streak there, but unfortunately at the moment we are currently on a 3-game losing streak to Chicago, Calgary, and the Washington Capitals. But 8-3, not a bad start to this season at all. We are going to quickly take a look at that fourth line. In fairness, McMillan was injured for a couple of weeks, but Mihalik, I'm going to call him Mihalik, because we basically have 2 Mihaliks. He has 5 points this far, and Korolev has 4, so that is better than I was expecting. Defensively, Corey and Rudolph Benda are still struggling quite a bit, but we are winning, so that is good. And that is despite the fact that Brian Mihalik has a sub-900 save percentage. I do not get how that's possible, but that would probably explain why we have lost our last 3 games. So he certainly needs to be better. I am not afraid to hand the starting job to Torsten Nyquist, especially if he gets a win here. He doesn't. He loses in a shootout, and we lose Danton Heinen for a couple of days. That could have gone much, much better than it did. So with the injury to Heinen, these are what the lines look like, at least for probably the next game, and then of course we'll have to change it back once he is healthy. But Doyle on the second line, Korolev on the third, and it is York that gets the call up. Again, he was injured until, the 15th, so he'll be back after this game against Florida or after the game against Pittsburgh at the latest. But we are going to sim up here to this game on November 28th against the Chicago Blackhawks. Let's see if this success can continue. Well, I almost screwed up. I didn't notice that the Ranger-Minnesota games were back-to-backs, but there you see the recent run of form, and it has not been very good. We have had to put up with some injuries along with the Danton Heinen injury. Esa Yoensu went down for a bit. Nyquist has actually been the starter because of a lot of those losses. It's been an interesting couple of weeks. I'll give you a look at the goalie stats here, but there you see Nyquist, and there you see Brian Michalek. But Michalek will get this start. If he gets a win here and Nyquist loses, we'll probably go with Michalek as the starter again. But Nyquist started from this Toronto game onward, so 2 wins out of 3 is not too bad. Let's see though, can Michalek get the win against the Rangers? He cannot, and Esa Yoensu goes down to another injury. Jesus, man. So once again, York has been called up. Nyquist is in goal, and we will sim these next 2 games against Minnesota and St. Louis. What has been a terrible month for us continues with that game against the Wild and continues against the St. Louis Blues. And after really a strong start, aside from the opening night loss to the San Jose Sharks, what really was a strong start, we are now falling back behind the pack here. I mean, still very, very early on, 22 games in, but we are down in 4th, and that is unfamiliar territory, and we may have to make changes sooner rather than later. But both of our goalies now are under a 900 save percentage, which is absolutely terrible. Both of these guys should have been better, and you know what? Yes, for shits and giggles, we'll go see what Thatcher Demko's save percentage is right about now, and I guarantee at least 3 of our former goalies will be in the top 10 in terms of save percentage, because that is the way this game works. So let's go ahead. Let's just see how many people are actually there. I see Daniel Bergeron has a 913 in Florida, so he is already better. A goalie we gave up to get Nyquist back. So let's take a look here. Obviously, we never had Reimer, Allen, Bibo. Kokkonen is there. Our old buddy Anton Forsberg is there. Okay, so I was wrong as far as the top 10 guess goes. Adam Warner's there. He's down to an 82. My God, some of the overalls in this game just constantly fluctuate. But I don't see Demko yet. There's Ray Makers. He signed with the Anaheim Ducks. Still no Demko. So we might have been in a bad way. Regardless of who we pick, Daniel Bergeron and Raymond Martins have higher save percentages. Okay, Demko's under a 900 as well, so my God, maybe we were screwed, regardless of who we picked. I mean, geez, I can't believe Demko actually has a lower save percentage than Michalek. We get a win for the first time in a while, and Esa Yoensu is back, thank God. Nyquist is in goal for this game against the Avs. Michalek actually has a slight injury right now. And for the first time, and actually not too long, we did get back-to-back wins against the Kings and the Flames. But yeah, this terrible month. I am ready for November to be over, and I am ready for this team to rebound. We are back in 2nd place, so that does show how close the pack is together right now in terms of the standings. We will take a look at player morale as well. Who's going to be complaining about what at this point? It's Jonathan Drouin, who does not get along with McMillan, Doyle, or Korolev. So that's interesting. When it comes to those 3 or Jonathan Drouin, I'd take Drouin over the 3 of them. So interesting to see that complaint. How much stock can you put into it knowing this morale system? Not too much. But moving on here, simming these next 3 games against the Kings, Stars, and the first game of a home-and-home against the Arizona Coyotes. Now, because of all the injury troubles, we've actually gotten this offer from the Rangers, 2 third-round picks this year, which, let's be honest, we don't exactly need third-rounders with how many first-rounders we have, for 35-year-old Jakob Silfverberg. He's not doing too bad. He has 13 points so far on the season and would be a half-decent depth guy, still really good skating, decent puck control. Not much else is really that impressive, but I'm willing to make this deal, I think, just to get a little bit more depth, and that way he can sit on the That way he can just stay scratched as opposed to me constantly having to call people up. We also get another offer, this one for Melker Karlsson. And you know what? Philly's offered me this one before as well. I'm going to accept it. So 3 third-round picks for Karlsson and Silfverberg gets us a little bit of depth. And obviously we'll just do the last bit of this sim live. And fucking Derek Corey goes down to injury. We smoke the LA Kings, lose to the Stars and the Coyotes. And I will actually have to go make some roster changes. Yay. So moving forward, after the injury, Silfverberg is actually going to get time here. In the NHL, we've sent Mihalik down. And of course, defensively, the call-up is Mogilny. This next game will go to Mihalik. He at a .902 save percentage now, as opposed to Nyquist, who has been very, very disappointing. But let's see what happens here. I will take care of the player morale first, I suppose. Why not? Let's see. And it's Silfverberg being happy about being acquired. What's-his-face? Melker Karlsson is down with the Comets for the moment. Not actually in the lineup. But Mihalik gets this game here against the Coyotes. It is a 3-0 loss. So if Torsten Nyquist can win this game, he will... he'll be the starter moving forward, but we may end this episode even sooner than the All-Star break because what do? We have a franchise-level goalie who can't stop a beach ball, and we have our prior talisman who saved our asses in the postseason on more than one occasion, who was just completely unable to perform at the moment. Now, you could say, is it the defense that's the problem? They're seeing too many shots. 21 games, 509 saves. Is that a lot? I'm not sure. Torsten Nyquist is terrible. Absolutely terrible right now. I actually want to, let's double check something again right here. This will be a shorter episode. It's All-Star break at the latest, but let's take a look at the goaltenders really quick in this league. I want to see, on average, how many shots a goalie with a similar games played category has seen in terms of shots. So where is Mihalik? Okay, he is right there. So for example, he's faced, he's actually faced less shots than Kakkonen on the Minnesota Wild, who is playing a hell of a lot better than him. He's faced a lot less shots than most people, so it's not our defense. He just can't stop a goddamn beach ball. But we'll see what happens here. We are going to sim to the end of the month this game on the 31st against the Anaheim Ducks. And if we have to make changes from there, we'll do it because I do not want this team to miss the playoffs. And right now at a 14-13-2 record, that very well could happen. A 4-game losing streak before the sim period, a 7-game winning streak with 2 shutouts afterwards. I never know what to expect with this game, but now we are 21-13-2 on the season and in second place in our division. Needless to say, that was unexpected, just a little bit unexpected to go on a 7-game winning streak. Considering our struggles here in the past few weeks of the season, but that still, just because we're winning, I should say, does not mean our goaltenders are still performing as well as we need them to. I have yet to check. Esa Hall is up to a 94. Overall, goddamn, Chychrun still hanging around at an 89 or up to an 89. I'd like to see him break the 90 just once. But moment of truth here for the goalies. Mihalik's up to a 912. Nyquist not doing so well here. But yeah, very, very disappointing for Mihalik to be struggling this much here as we're, a third of the way, almost halfway through the season. But Nyquist is the man in goal for this game against the Ducks. We get the win, but he gets injured. So that's... Whose win was it really? Was it his or Mihalik's? So at this point, we're just going to sim now to the All-Star break. Of course, Mihalik is the man in goal for the time being, and we will see how the month of January goes. I'll get you guys a look at the stats, and then we will figure out how to approach the remainder of the season. Things are certainly looking better than they were just a few short minutes ago, but who knows what things will be looking like, what this team will be looking like as we approach the All-Star break. Alright guys, as we hit the All-Star break, there you get a look at the most recent results, not the finest stretch of games for us, although there was a 9-1 win over Minnesota there. Our record currently stands at 26-19-2. That is good enough to be second place in the division. The Utica Comets also with the winning record, so things are looking okay. Not amazing, but okay. We're currently tied for second, and we're 3 points back of the Edmonton Oilers, so we certainly have some work to do. I am having to re-record this ending part of the episode though, so I am trying to remember exactly what I showed you. We will look over the stats, and then, well, that'll be pretty much it for the episode, honestly. But Esa Hall, of course, up to a 95 overall. He's having a pretty damn good season, I'd say. Laurent Durocher doing pretty well, and Danton Heinen, 36 goals before the All-Star break. Now, of course, we started Yoensu on the top line to begin the season. Needless to say, Danton Heinen is staying there because he and Esa Hall are tearing it up, and that's really kind of the goal. And right now on the second line, it's not as good as I'd like it. You know, Jonathan Drouin is still an assist machine. Austin Matthews is performing well. Only 17 goals for Esa Yoensu. Now, of course, he is still young in his last year of development. He has 6 years left at $7 million per, but I can't help but wonder, because that's kind of what we want the top two lines to be. Hall, Durocher, the skill, Heinen, the sniper. Drouin, Matthews, the skill, Yoensu, the sniper. He has the ability, and 17 goals certainly isn't too bad. But I can't help but wonder if maybe there would be a better replacement for him, and we will take a look throughout the league to see if there is. The third line's not performing too badly. 28 points for Doyle, 17 for Backlund, and 15 for Sloan. The fourth line as well, not amazing. I mean, Silfverberg's been okay since we brought him in. Korolev's up to an 84 overall. He's not doing too bad. Ray McMillan's struggling quite a bit. That's what I was afraid of. He has gone up in overall, but he's really not delivering like we need him to. Defensively, same questions as before. I mean, Chychrun's having a great season. I'm perfectly fine with him being on the top line. Yasin has actually surprised me with how few points he has. Forsstrom's doing pretty damn well, 30 points, a plus 21, as is his line mate Pascal Plante, a plus 21, only 6 points. The third line, Derek Corey and Rudolph Benda, have been all right. So basically we have the same issues. It's like, do we go for somebody else better than Corey or Benda, despite the fact that we want these guys to be our top four? And offensively, do we go for somebody else other than Yoensu? Do we try to improve the bottom six? A lot of questions, a lot of ways we could approach the rest of the season. Perhaps the biggest question, though, of course, is what to do with the goaltenders. Brian Mihalik, 39 games played, a .905 save percentage, which is absolutely abysmal. That is abysmal. He literally... you could shoot a beach ball past him. You could. That's unacceptable for a starting goalie. Dolan, of course, is the backup. He hasn't played. Torsten Nyquist, as I said, is injured again. He has an .885 save percentage in 11 games. So what do we do with this team? Offensively, do we look for somebody better? Defensively, do we look for somebody better? Goaltending, do we look for somebody better? And it's tough to say because, you know, we are in a top three spot right now, but we know that certain players should be performing better than they currently are. But as we end this episode, guys, I will get you a look at the goaltenders that we could potentially approach and the potential replacement for Yoensu if we choose to go down that road. But I don't know. It's up to you guys. You guys know I like to get your opinions on the matter before progressing. Right now, really the best goalie as far as starters is Bibeau, Fortier from New Jersey, Skinner in Columbus is up there. So there are a couple of decent options, but not really much better. I mean, Hellebuyck, well, I can't say that. Hellebuyck and Nedeljkovic, like, these are guys that would be an improvement. But guys, as always, if you have enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a like down below. It helps out the channel, and of course, I would appreciate it. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to continue following this series. And truly, let me know down below what you think and what changes we should make with this team here in Season 11. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.